We live in a world that mistakes noise for wisdom, reaction for strength, and comfort for virtue. Yet there are those among us who move differently, who pause when others panic, who find clarity in chaos, who transform suffering into something approaching sacred. These people possess habits so unusual, so counter to our instant gratification culture, that they're often misunderstood and dismissed even. But make no mistake, these are not the habits of the ordinary mind. These are the practices of those who have discovered something the ancients knew, that true intelligence is not measured by what you know, but by what you master within yourself. Let us examine these strange behaviors, and in doing so perhaps recognize the whispers of our own potential. The first oddity: they choose discomfort deliberately. While the world races toward comfort, these individuals do something that appears almost pathological to the modern eye. They seek out difficulty, not because they're masochistic, but because they understand a truth that Seneca articulated 2,000 years ago. It is in times of security that the spirit should be preparing itself for difficult times. Watch them closely. They take cold showers when warmth is available. They fast when food surrounds them. They sit with their fear instead of numbing it with distraction. To the casual observer, this appears to be self-punishment, but we who understand know better. This is self-liberation. These people are training. Every voluntary discomfort is a rehearsal for the involuntary suffering that life will inevitably deliver. When hardship arrives uninvited, and it will, they do not crumble. They recognize an old sparring partner. Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome, the most powerful man in the known world, would sleep on hard floors and wear rough clothing. Why? Because he knew that fortune is fickle, and the man who cannot bear discomfort is a slave to circumstance. This practice reveals profound intelligence because it demonstrates an understanding of something most minds never grasp. We cannot control what happens to us, but we can control our capacity to endure it. The intelligent among us know that resilience is not discovered in crisis. It is built in the quiet moments when we have a choice. Epictetus, who spent years as a slave before becoming one of history's greatest teachers, understood this better than most. Difficulties are things that show what men are, but he took it further. Difficulties do not merely reveal character, they forge it. And the truly intelligent do not wait for life to forge them. They step into the forge willingly. This is why they embrace what others avoid. Not to suffer, but to strengthen, not to punish the body, but to liberate the mind from its tyranny. When you can endure cold, hunger, fatigue, and fear by choice, these things lose their power over you. You become dangerous in the most beautiful way, dangerous to circumstance, to fate, to the chaos that reduces lesser minds to panic. We are not speaking of mere toughness here. We are speaking of freedom. The freedom that comes when your happiness no longer depends on comfort, when your peace no longer requires perfect conditions, when you carry your strength within you, portable and unshakable, regardless of what the world throws your way. This is the first mark of true intelligence, the wisdom to prepare the spirit before the storm arrives. The second oddity: they practice negative visualization. Here is where we encounter something truly strange, something that makes the optimists uncomfortable and the positive thinking evangelists recoil in horror. These individuals, the deeply intelligent among us, spend time imagining loss. They visualize death. They contemplate failure. They mentally rehearse the worst possible outcomes. The modern world calls this pessimism, depression, and negative thinking. But the Stoics called it premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils, and it may be the most misunderstood practice of the intelligent mind. Listen carefully to what Marcus Aurelius whispered to himself each morning. When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, the people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly. Was the Emperor of Rome a pessimist? No, he was a realist preparing his mind for reality. He was removing the poison of surprise from suffering. We who practice this understand something profound. It is not the event itself that destroys us, but the shock of it, the gap between expectation and reality. When we have never contemplated loss, loss devastates us, but when we have walked through the valley of potential catastrophe in our minds, we are not ambushed by it in reality. Seneca took this further. He advised that we should periodically live as though we had already lost everything: our wealth, our status, our loved ones. Set aside a certain number of days, he wrote, during which you shall be content with the scantiest and cheapest fare, with coarse and rough dress, saying to yourself the while, is this the condition that I feared? This is not morbidity. This is mastery. When you have felt the phantom pain of loss, the actual loss finds you prepared. When you have contemplated your own death, you are finally free to live. The intelligent know that our deepest gratitude emerges not from ignorance of fragility, but from intimate awareness of it. Every moment with a loved one becomes precious when you remember they are mortal. Every meal becomes a gift when you remember millions starve. Every breath becomes sacred when you remember it could be your last. Negative visualization does not breed despair. It breeds presence, gratitude, and an unshakable calm. Epictetus understood. Don't demand that things happen as you wish, but wish that they happen as they do happen, and you will go on well. To wish things to happen as they do, we must first imagine all the ways they might happen. This is intelligence, to make friends with impermanence before it introduces itself. The third oddity, they treat insults like gifts. Here we arrive at perhaps the strangest behavior of all, one that separates the truly intelligent from those merely performing intelligence. When insulted, criticized, or attacked, these individuals do not defend themselves with the fury we expect. They do not lash out. They do not justify. They do not even appear wounded. Instead, they pause. They examine. They thank their critic. To the reactive mind, this looks like weakness. To the ego, it appears as surrender. But we who understand recognize it as the highest form of strength. The strength to transform poison into medicine. Marcus Aurelius carried this practice into the heart of his philosophy. When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, the people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly. But he did not stop there. He asked himself, can they hurt me? No. Can they corrupt my character? Only if I allow it. The intelligent mind sees clearly. Another person's words cannot diminish us unless we grant them that power. Epictetus, who knew humiliation intimately from his years in chains, taught his students something radical. If anyone tells you that a certain person speaks ill of you, do not make excuses about what is said of you, but answer, he was ignorant of my other faults, else he would not have mentioned these alone. Do you see the liberation in this? He transformed the entire dynamic. The critic is no longer an enemy, but a mirror, imperfect perhaps, but still offering reflection. The deeply intelligent understand what the reactive mind cannot grasp. That our emotional response to criticism is not about the criticism itself, but about our attachment to a false image of ourselves. When someone insults you and you rage, you are not defending the truth. You are defending an illusion. The person who remains calm has simply released their grip on that illusion. Seneca put it plainly, a gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials. Every insult is an opportunity to practice indifference to things outside our control. Every criticism is a chance to examine whether there is truth worth extracting. Every attack is a test of our inner fortress. Watch how the intelligent respond to hostility. With curiosity rather than defensiveness, with examination rather than explanation, they ask, is this true? Then let me improve. Is this false? Then why should I be disturbed by falsehood? This is not a weakness. This is the ultimate strength to remain unconquerable from within regardless of what comes from without. The fourth oddity, they speak to themselves in the second person. Walk past them in quiet moments and you might catch them doing something peculiar, speaking to themselves not as I, but as you, addressing their own soul as though counseling a dear friend. To the uninitiated, this appears eccentric, perhaps even concerning, but we recognize it as one of the most sophisticated tools of the intelligent mind. Marcus Aurelius mastered this practice. His meditations, never intended for public eyes, are filled with these self-addresses. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. Notice he does not say, I have power. He speaks to himself as a teacher speaks to a student, as a commander speaks to a soldier, as one part of consciousness disciplines another. This is not a mere linguistic quirk. This is the intelligent mind recognizing a profound truth. We contain multitudes. There is the reactive self that wants to lash out, indulge, or surrender. And there is the higher self that knows better by speaking in the second person. We create distance between these selves. We activate the observer, the rational guide who can see clearly when we are lost in emotional fog. Epictetus understood this intimately. Make the best use of what is in your power and take the rest as it happens. But to access what is in our power, we must first step outside ourselves, view our situation from elevation, and speak truth to the frightened animal within us that mistakes every discomfort for death. When anxiety grips you, the reactive mind spirals. I can't handle this. I'm overwhelmed. I'm failing. But the intelligent mind steps back and speaks. You have faced worse. You have the tools. This feeling will pass. The shift from first person to second person is the shift from victim to guide, from chaos to command. Seneca wrote, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." The second person address breaks imagination's tyranny. It allows us to speak to ourselves the way a wise mentor would, with firmness, compassion, and perspective that transcends the immediate storm. This practice reveals deep intelligence because it demonstrates metacognition, the ability to think about thinking, to observe the observer. The person who can step outside their own experience and counsel themselves has achieved what most never will. They have become their own philosopher, their own therapist, their own unshakable anchor. They have learned to be the friend they need most when the world turns hostile and the mind turns against itself. Follow for more powerful mindset shifts. Give me the title and YouTube thumbnail with Marcus Aurelius image.